This is the Randi Rhodes Show on 960 KNEW and online at 960KNEW.com.
Do you have an aging relative who needs a place to spend their to spend their golden years? Then you should consider Darwin Gardens, the retirement community that's not afraid to thin the herd.
Well, Grandma's getting on in years, but she's not helpless.
Perfect. We're not helpful.
Pardon?
You see, at Darwin Gardens, our residents agree to a policy of not allowing any medical intervention that we consider to be life-providing.
You mean life-prolonging, don't you?
No, I mean life-providing. You've heard of assisted living facilities?
Yeah, that's not what we want.
Good, because Darwin Gardens is a resisted living facility.
So to sum up, you withhold life-saving medical assistance in the event of an emergency.
Well, we withhold anything that can sustain life, and we make your grandma fight the other residents to get it. Only the winner survives. Get it, Darwin Gardens?
That's insane and inhuman.
Okay, well, what if I told you it was the rules?
Oh, well, if it's policy, I guess that's different.
Yeah,
I'll be bringing Grandma by tonight.
Okay, great. Wednesday is the rollerball competition.
No kidding.
If you have excess elderly relatives, bring them down to Darwin Gardens, where only the fittest retire.
It's so sad. I can't laugh at it yet. I can't. I mean, we're not talking transplants here. We were talking about CPR. I'm not talking about putting a baboon heart into an 87-year-old woman. I wasn't talking about, life-prolonging intervention like putting her in an iron lung. I'm just talking about, good Samaritan CPR that could not be accomplished here in these United States. But yet we're very, prone to criticizing other governments for human rights neglect and abuse. And like I said, and I'll say it again, Hugo Chavez was not my favorite person. He did a lot of things wrong. There's no question about it. He was probably advised by, not the greatest people in the world. But there were things that he did that are laudable. And I don't know why Republicans, who are so pro-property rights, would be against a guy like Hugo Chavez, who, as president of Venezuela, held a nationwide referendum on a constitution that actually allowed for people to own their own property for the first time in the history of the country. Oh, I guess it was because it upset the elite. I guess it was, upsetting the people who learned the old-fashioned way to grease the palms of a corrupt government in order to get the things that they wanted from it and let everybody else go to hell. But, listen, the Bush administration, the elite, the business leaders of Venezuela, they tried to oust him in a military coup. The people literally took to the streets and demanded that he be released and returned to the presidency. And in 2 days he was. And the Bush administration decided that their position was going to be regime change, I swear to God, in Venezuela. Now, what this man was able to do that really, really scares Republicans is he mobilized the poor. He invited them to participate in what had always been a top-down political system in Venezuela. It was dominated by the rich in that country. And the people there knew that he was bringing democracy and hope, and they were not going to let the elite take it from them. And so what did the elite do? They did what they did do here. They fled. They took their money and they went someplace else, and most of them came here. But that is that is what has happened here. Venezuela, listen, the rich have had so much and the poor have had nothing for the longest time. And so when Hugo Chavez came on the scene and he put in writing and did a nationwide referendum and said to people, for the first time in your life, you're going to be able to own your property. The Bush administration said, oh, my God, this is our fourth largest supplier of oil. They provide 15% of all of our imports. And so the Bush administration authorized, a coup change and said, listen, after that failed and he saw all the people in the street, and it freaks out Republicans. I'm telling you, when people show up, it just freaks them out. So the Latin American analyst at the Heritage Foundation said after we failed to oust him, he said, well, we're married to Venezuela for better or worse. We're married to him.